right, Shalom.
Shalom.
All right, what you doing? All right, with Akim here from Great Millstone, Atlanta, coming back with a quick, I guess, GMS Godspeed. All right, before we start, I'm gonna give all praise, honor, and glory to
Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem, Rakakadash.
All right, double honors to the apostles, elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to the elect, man. All right, so basically, we want to get into a quick lesson, basically going to your conduct at camp. You know, when you on highways and byways, when you're putting the word of Yahweh Shem Yahshua out there, it's a certain code and conduct that you want to follow, man. You know, and not just be out there just wilding out. Bringing weapons and all these different things. You know, you basically see the spirit is not with it. You know, you're not following, basically not following the spirit, man. You know, and by doing that, you can lead yourself and the rest of your camp, all right, and down a path of trouble, man.
That's right.
You know, you don't want to do that. That's why we gotta continue to follow the scriptures, man. Do what the scriptures say. All right, so through the spirit, we're gonna hit a few points, all right, and Lord willing, this to be edifying. All right, so we can start with
This is Proverbs chapter 1, verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
The Proverbs of Solomon, the son of David, king of Israel, to know wisdom and instruction, to perceive the words of understanding, to receive the instruction of wisdom, justice and judgment and equity.
Right. That's like we read the book of Proverbs and like the book of Sirach in the Apocrypha. It's a lot of wisdom in Proverbs on what to do in certain situations, man. And you got to read, digest these things spiritually, and you apply it in your everyday walk, especially on the highways and byways, man. You know, you out there preaching the word with brothers. You know, it's a certain, as I mentioned, code and conduct that you want to follow, man. You know, so go ahead.
Verse 4, to give subtlety to the simple.
Yeah, to give subtlety to the simple, man. All right, when you go into that word subtlety, basically means to be crafty. You know, you gotta be just how a so-called white man is crafty on the left-hand side. You know, you want to be crafty in righteousness, man. Knowing how to maneuver and get around in certain situations, man, using this word, man.
That's right.
You know, so when you out on the highways and byways, you gotta know how to use that craftiness as well, man. Know how to diffuse certain situations. You know, knowing in the back of your mind, knowing that Esau's out to get us,
right, and
paint us as monsters and terrorists. You know, common sense. You would not bring a goddamn gat to the camp, man.
Yeah.
You know, that's foolishness. You giving the so-called white man ammo, no pun intended. You know, to crack down, man. You know, you teaching in the area where every week you getting into a brawl or a fight. You ain't gathering no fruit. You know, just a bunch of dusty ass jakes arguing all the time. Nothing's gonna come out of that, man. And Lord willing, we're gonna hit that in Matthew's where Yahweh Shai himself said, you know, basically if the people don't receive you, man, yeah, you basically leave, man. What's the point of even speaking there, man? You know, but you got this spirit of now we're gonna wake up the Negroes. We're gonna go to the trenches, go to the hood. Nothing's gonna come out of there, man.
That's right.
You know, it's other Israelites that don't live in the hood, man. They might live in the suburbs that gotta hear the word.
Some that live in the country.
That's right. You know, hey, different countries and areas. You know, so you gotta apply these scriptures, man, and not just go off your own will. You go ahead.
Finish off verse 4. To give subtlety to the simple, to the young man knowledge and discretion.
Knowledge and discretion. All right, so the scriptures give you a level of knowledge and discretion. You gotta be discreet when you move in this truth, man. You know, because pretty much brothers got a target on their back, man.
That's right. And
you gotta move in a way where it's like you gotta kind of fly under the radar, so to speak. Even at camp, you know, even though we're out in the public, you know, we put our faces out there, you know, making our bodies live a sacrifice. It's still a way you do it, man.
That's right.
You know. Don't bring a gun to camp. Don't bring a damn knife. You know, Jay got a knife this big at the camp.
Crocodile Dundee knife.
Yeah, like for what, man? We ain't out there. We spiritual men. You know, like Jay could say, I'm spiritual, but you really carnal, man. You know, what need do you have to bring a knife to the camp? You ain't out there to cause no physical harm to nobody. Now, of course, you defend yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if somebody rushes you or whatever, common sense, you're going to do your thing. But that's not our intention. Our intention is to basically hurt them with the word, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's why the scripture speak about what's that, Hebrews 4. You know, the word being basically being like a sword, man.
That's right.
You know, it cuts asunder. You know, let this be your weapon, man. Not no goddamn gun. You know, I think that was it on that. Yeah, something else.
Come on, this is 2 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 3.
Mm-hmm.
For though we walk in the flesh, we do not war after the flesh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you put it down too.
Verse 4, for the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through the Most High to the pulling down of strongholds. And, you know, that's been the topic of this week. You know, you have videos of guys pulling out guns at camps, and they really don't believe in the power of Yahweh Shem Shah. They don't really believe that the Lord is going to set up a standard. When you come out to the camp with a rusty ass pawn shop gun, you're not believing in the standard according to Isaiah 59:19. You're not believing that the Lord is going to set up a standard for you. You don't have the faith that the Lord is going to protect you in these days. That's why we go out with no guns. We don't have daggers. Okay, you know, like these other camps that call themselves Dagger Men. You know who you are.
Yeah.
They call themselves Dagger Men. They come out with guns. They don't obviously read these scriptures because they're just parrots. You know, the Bishop of Tazawam had put out a lesson last week that you don't want to be a parrot in this truth, man. And a lot of guys is following that same spirit of being parrots. They just want to quote scriptures, but they actually don't live the scriptures. So that's why you got niggas at the camps with guns and hell. The scriptures say men shall wax worse and worse. You're gonna start to see these Hebrew niggerlights with AK-47s at the camps all of a sudden next.
Yeah,
because they don't have the spirit, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
that's right.
So verse 4 says, "For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through the Most High to the pulling down of strongholds." And we're out there pulling down the strongholds of Christianity. We're even out there pulling down the strongholds of Esau, because you got these guys that say that we're trying to tap into Esau's blessings.
Right.
We're breaking down Esau's strongholds because we obviously we don't need guns to go out there. We're not the Black Panther movement, man. All right, we're not the Nation of Islam where we're 100 deep. And, you know, we have niggas with baby faces and bow ties, man. We come to our power source from Yahweh Shem Shah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's the ultimate power source. Sometimes we be out here and we don't even know the enemies that we're dealing with, but the Lord has our back because we're out there presenting our bodies a living sacrifice. That's what we go through when we are out here in the highways and byways. The Lord is defending us, even when we're not really even thinking about it, man. So how much more when some guy comes up to the camp with a so-called gun? And we all know Jake is not about that life. Jake is a coward. We all know Esau has the blessing. So Jake is not really about that life. Jake could talk shit, and Jake could say that he got the gun. And Jake is not really going to do that, man.
Right.
You know?
That's right. Yeah, because at the end of the day, man, this is a spiritual ministry, man. You know, you don't see a Great Millstone getting up arms.
Yeah.
You know, doing videos at the goddamn gun range.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? With Tech 9s and Mac 10s. You know, letting them off at the gun range. What type of edification is that, man?
And if I can say,
yep,
they've already, these other camps like ISUPK, IUIC, HOI, GOCC, they paint us as the worst thing since mold on week old bread.
Right.
You know, we're rapists, we're thugs, we're bums. We're not out here with guns and knives and switchblades, man. All right, and you're gonna start to see that the Lord is making that difference between the house of David and the house of Saul, man. Every week you're starting to see the difference between the house of Saul and the house of David. You got niggas out here with guns, man. And the scriptures, like this scripture I'm about to pull out, this is Psalms 44 and 5. I'm gonna start verse 5. Through thee will we push down our enemies through thy name, not our own accord,
right.
Through the name of Yahweh B'Shem Shai, will we tread them under that rise up against us. And the pointed verse is in verse 6. For I will not trust in my bow, neither shall my sword save me. And these are the scriptures that men take for granted, and they go out to the highways and byways on their own accord. And like I said, this is what's going to separate us from the house of Saul. You know, Saul, he was the one that was jealous. If you go into 1 Samuel, he was the one that was jealous of David. He was the one that was always trying to do something on his own accord. And you saw what happened to Saul. So we got to follow in that spirit of David, being humble. All right, be really ready to execute whatever the Lord says, not on our own accord.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. More. I had something to back you up.
Wow.
Kind of going into you mentioned the house of David and the house of Saul. And that's what's happening, man. You're seeing the separation, you know, or the Lord's creating a distinction between who's the real man of the Lord, who's not, man. You know, you're seeing these different camps are getting exposed, you know, for extortion and, you know, supposedly murders. There's like all sorts type of wickedness and folly going on, man. All right, but the sincere men will continue to what? Thrive in the spirit. The faith is growing. You know, they're becoming more established in the spirit. This is let me read this real quick. This is 2 Samuel 3 and 1. It says, and now there was a long war between the house of Saul and the house of David. So yeah, then you got Jake talking about, man, why camps always going at each other? It's always been a war, man. It's always been that division. You know that you know the ones of the house of Saul always come back in their lot. You know, and then the ones of the house of David always come back in their lot, man. So it's always going to be a separation. All these camps not supposed to be all together, man. Because you got some camps of the house of Saul, and we here at Great Millstone, we believe we are the house of David, man. That's right. We're doing the things pertaining to what the house of David would do. All right. It says, I'll read on. It says, but David waxed stronger and stronger, and the house of Saul waxed weaker and weaker. You see that? So yeah, that's what you see right now, man. Certain Israelite camps are being put on the spot, they're being exposed. Yeah. You know, they're being weakened. You know, all the wickedness is coming out. But hey, meanwhile, you know, the men at Great Millstone, hey, brothers just doing the work, man. Right. You know, brothers are becoming more wise, more circumspect. Faith is being built. You know, purging all these different things. You know, and how about Shem Shah is dealing with brothers, man. Starting with the apostles elders on down.
God, you got these House of Salt Israelites that's in front of strip clubs, asking a goddamn dirty ass stripper, right, for her hand and trying to be her man. You know, you got Israelites that's in front of these nigga clubs, in front of T Grizzly concerts and whatnot. I mean, the Lord commanded us in Matthew the 22nd chapter to go to the highways and byways, not to go to T Grizzly concerts and strip clubs, man. If common sense will play into your head, you would start to see that, well, the men of the Lord, they out there week in, week out. It could be 20 degrees, it could be 80 degrees. They out there. But these other guys, like the scriptures say, man wax worse and worse. They're finding ways outside. They're trying to reinvent the wheel. They're like, well, it's boring going to the highways and byways. Let's go to the strip club. Let's go outside the strip. Let's go outside Magic City, right? And try to preach to hoes who ain't gonna get it. Preach to niggas who ain't gonna get it. And you can clearly see who the Lord is choosing and who the Lord is not choosing, man. You know. Yeah, and if it's not clear to you viewers out there, you know, that may come across these videos, it's gonna be made clear real soon, man. That's right. All right, who's really serious about pushing this word, or who's just about their own belly, man? That's right. You know, trying to teach the word to get fame, get attention, try to get a woman or something like that.
You know, it's gonna be brought out, man. You know,
you got a lot of like the brother Amon Gabar mentioned. You got a lot of clout chasing Israelites out here, man. You know,
that's right. That's right. You got something?
I got something.
Matthew 10. Okay, go ahead.
This is Matthew 10, chapter 10, verse 14. And whosoever shall not receive you, nor hear your words, when ye depart out of that house or city, shake off the dust off your feet.
Right. That's going into to these camps, man. You know, we've shaken dust on many places. The brothers have been persecuted at certain spots. You know, you ain't got no fruit there. What's the point of staying, man? You shake the dust. You know, and we, GMS Atlanta, we shook the dust on 5 points. You know, which if you watch Israelite videos, you see a number of camps camping at that particular spot. But we been shook the dust on that, man. Two years ago, something like that. Because we knew that, man, there's no fruit coming out of that, man. You know, all the brothers that joined the camp, they came off of YouTube, man. Ain't nobody from I'm listening, and they just joined the camp. So that's just an example of, man, if it ain't working, man, don't force the spirit. That's what this lesson is going to, man. Following the spirit, you know, letting the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushua lead you and guide you, do the right thing, man. Not just doing your own will.
That's right.
You know. Go ahead.
Let me see. That's it on that.
And that was it. Did you have anything else? Because we could we probably wrap up on this. I know we going a little over time, but this is basically going back to the point of being spiritual, man. Not trusting in the flesh, you know, not trusting in these carnal weapons. Was that the brother brought out? Hey, that's Esau's blessing, man. The sword, you know. Our blessing is this truth, man. The Lord gave us this weapon to fight with, man. All right, so I'm gonna read this. This is Ecclesiastes 9 and verse 18. It says 18. It says, wisdom is better than weapons of war. You see that? So with the wisdom of Yahweh Shem Yahushua is better than a damn pistol or machete, man. You know, this is how you fight in this world, in this society, man. At all times, at your job, your day-to-day life, all right? Especially on the highways and byways, man. You always apply the wisdom of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. This is better than weapons of war, man. Going to these carnal weapons, man. You know, this is wisdom is better than the weapons of war, but one sinner destroyeth much good. That's what you these other camps, man. Or guys that's not moving in the spirit, hey, you liable to go off and sin, man, because you're not following the script. And you destroy much good, man. Something that was set up, you basically spoil it, you know. By you not following the spirit, you're liable to destroy something that was good, man. It's a cancerous spirit.
That's right.
You know, not following wisdom, understanding of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. You know. So do you have anything else?
Wow.
All right. So we're gonna end it off there. Lord willing, this was edifying. All right. We're gonna give all praise, honor, and glory to
Yahweh Shem Yahushua, Hashem Makakadash.
All right. Double honor to the apostles, elders, a great millstone. Shalom to the elect. All right. Lord willing, to the next video. Shalom.
Shalom.